Welcome to The Explainer. All right, today we're diving into the core ideas of Louise Hay's really influential philosophy, the one explored in the documentary You Can Heal Your Life. It's this deep journey into the power of our own minds, and it all kicks off by listening to a voice that, well, I think we all know very intimately.
Yeah, that one. Our inner critic. You know that voice, right? It's like this constant narration just running in the background, judging our every single move. And, this familiar loop of negative self-talk, it just follows us everywhere. It's judging our appearance, questioning our worth, basically just making us feel small. And sometimes, let's be honest, this voice can really spiral. It goes from a small worry to a full-blown catastrophe in our heads, turning our anxieties into these self-fulfilling prophecies. It just reinforces our deepest, darkest fears. Now, according to Louise Hay, learning to get a handle on this voice, well, that's the absolute first step to changing your life. So that's our first big idea right there, the voice in your head. And what's interesting is that the philosophy we're digging into today, it doesn't say the goal is to silence this voice. Not at all. It says the journey just begins by becoming aware of it. Just recognizing this really powerful and, often destructive force inside of us.
Okay, but here's where it gets really interesting. What if those thoughts aren't just a reaction to your world? What if they're actively creating it? I mean, think about that for a second. This is the central, kind of radical idea of this whole philosophy. Your thoughts literally create your reality. So this is the big one. This is the idea right at the heart of Hay's work. It's saying our thoughts aren't just sitting back and watching the show. No, they are doing something. They're creative. The core principle is that the energy of our thoughts, whether they're good or bad, goes out there and attracts matching experiences right back into our lives. Like attracts like, basically. And that is a huge shift in perspective, right? It's moving away from this feeling that life is just something that happens to you to realizing, wait a minute, I am creating my experience of life. It's about swapping that feeling of being a victim for a real sense of empowerment. So here's the bottom line. Every single time you think a thought, every time you speak a word, you're holding a paintbrush. You are literally the artist painting the canvas of your own life, whether you even realize you're doing it or not. Okay, so if our thoughts really are that powerful, how in the world do we actually go about changing them? Well, the good news is this philosophy isn't just some abstract theory. It actually gives us a practical toolkit for change, and it breaks the whole process down into really clear, manageable steps. And here they are, the 4 steps to get you started. First up, step 1, awareness. I mean, it makes sense, right? You can't change something if you don't even know it's there. Then, step 2 is affirmations. This is where you deliberately start choosing new, positive things to tell yourself. Step 3, a big one, forgiveness. This is all about releasing that old resentment to make space for the new stuff to grow. And finally, step 4, action. You gotta take small steps that actually support these new beliefs you're building. So let's talk about affirmations, because they're a huge tool in this whole practice. They're basically just simple, positive statements that you repeat over and over until your subconscious mind starts to believe them. And the key here is just being consistent. Maybe you say them to yourself in the mirror, maybe you write them down. A really simple one to start with is just to interrupt a negative thought with, I love and approve of myself. It's like planting a seed. You got to give it time and water it. But it's not just about building new beliefs. It's just as important to let go of old pain. And that's where forgiveness comes in. The whole idea here is that holding on to resentment is like you drinking poison and expecting the other person to get sick. It just doesn't work. So forgiveness isn't about saying what happened was okay. Not at all. It's a gift to yourself. It's about releasing that grip it has on you so you can finally be free. Okay, but let's get real. Does this stuff actually work in the real world? It's a fair question, right? Well, the documentary makes a strong case for yes, and it does it by sharing some pretty powerful stories of transformation, starting with the founder of this whole movement herself. So Louise Hay's own life story is basically exhibit A for her philosophy. The documentary walks us through her whole journey, from a really traumatic childhood to a painful divorce, to finally discovering these principles. And then, and this is the incredible part of her story, when she was diagnosed with cancer, she believed she could heal herself. She linked the illness back to deep-seated resentment from her past and used her own tools, forgiveness, affirmations, as her path to getting well. She really practiced what she preached.
And the film is packed with other incredible stories, too. Like this one, from a woman who had these terrible, debilitating migraine headaches for years. I mean, it got so bad, she felt completely hopeless, even thinking it might be easier to just end it all. But then, she changed her mind. And in that one moment, she says, she changed the migraines. She claims she cured them not with Advil, but with a change in perception. She made a big life change, something she felt forced into, and in shifting her perspective on it, the pain just went away. It's a wild story.
Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Okay, this is all sounding a little bit woo-woo, right? I get it. But what's really fascinating is that the documentary argues these ideas are actually connecting more and more with modern science. First off, the film points out something pretty profound. A lot of our deepest, most limiting beliefs, they're not even ours to begin with. We just kind of absorb them from our family, our culture, society, you name it. And the big insight here is, hey, if that belief wasn't yours in the first place, you sure as heck don't have to keep it.
And this is where the science comes in. Experts in the film, we're talking neuropsychiatrists and doctors, they connect these practices to stuff we already know works. They point out that cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, uses really similar techniques to literally rewire your brain's thought patterns. They also explain how positive emotions actually change your body's chemistry. For real. They can raise your DHEA levels, balance hormones, and calm your nervous system, which helps fight the damage from chronic stress. So, okay, where does all this leave us? If you're listening to this and you're thinking, I want to make a change, where on earth do you begin? Well, the film suggests the starting point is way, way simpler than we usually make it out to be. The whole journey really just starts by tackling those I can'ts that your inner critic loves to scream at you. And listen, you don't have to make this giant leap from I can't all the way to I can do it right away. Nope. The first and maybe the most powerful step is to just say, you know what? I am willing to change. And that's really the core message here, isn't it? It's one of just profound empowerment. It's saying that it doesn't matter where you are right now, whether you're in a great place or a really tough one. The gateways to wisdom and knowledge, to real change, they're always open. The journey can start this very second. And that really brings us to the final big idea, that this profound, life-altering transformation, it doesn't have to start with some huge, dramatic gesture. The question this whole philosophy leaves us hanging with is, what if? What if it could all begin with the smallest, most simple step of all, the decision to just change one single thought?